The Garnacho situation. You know, Manchester United cannot just catch a break with a whole lot of things. When we're having a bit of a silence with, you know, the whole media and transfers and all of that, players tend to get in the media. And, you know, we can't go without talking about some of these things. I've seen a lot on social media, people reacting, people sometimes when you look at their response, you think you kind of get the sense of an overreaction here. A lot of people are overreacting, some are not reacting per se. But, you know, I had to give my take. I took a few hours to review some of the things I've seen online. And I just basically had to, you know, take a bit to understand the context and then separate the context from the reality. Because I feel like most of us basically tend to imagine what the context would be, and sometimes not want to turn a blind eye. And sometimes it is good to kind of turn a blind eye to certain things. The truth is, most of these players tend to want a platform. They want a station where they can rile people up, and obviously some fans are falling for it. Some of the big channels have fallen for it, for the riling up. A station where, you know, some people have reacted, some people have insulted him and called him all sorts of names and all of that. And then they say, oh, basically, you have to look at the context. I'll go bridge case in point and all of that. So, and I saw that he was reacting to almost everybody who talked about that situation because he was visibly upset about how Garnacho went about this. So here's the story. Alejandro Garnacho posted a video, a picture on his Instagram at Ibiza, where he was wearing Marcus Rashford's Aston Villa number 9 shirt. And then Marcus Rashford commented with "my brother" and a love emoji. Now with that, the backlash began. Everybody started calling him names. People started calling him a spoiled brat and all of that. So we're here to react to some of these things. I'm not going to read like all of the things that people said, but I'm just going to kind of give different sides of the thing and kind of like a context. So people were kind of getting annoyed. They were kind of like reacting in a certain way where they had to kind of insult Garnacho and all of that. So with that, you tend to kind of get a sense of an idea of what people are thinking, right? Now, it's bad enough that most Manchester United fans hate Garnacho already, especially the ones that, you know, were telling him off during the season. He's not really had let's say 3 good seasons of Man United where he scored over 10 goals or something. He's just been, you know, here and there. And then with a lot of scandals, you might have seen, not scandals, but a lot of issues in the media. You might have seen some of the videos I must have posted about Alejandro Garnacho on the channel, even very recently, where Ruben Amorim said that Garnacho had better find himself another club and all of that. So there's all that, and there's the issue of his behavior, there's the issue of his behavior on the pitch, off the pitch, and the things he said in the media post Europa League final. So these are the things that have riled people up to create a context around it, assuming that they know the context. Now, basically, other people went and dug up some other things, and they said, oh, basically, Amad wore Adingra's jersey. Adingra is his Ivorian teammate, and Amad wore his Brighton jersey for training. And I saw the video, watched the full video. Adingra wore his own. Adingra wore a Man United jersey. Amad wore Adingra's jersey, and they both played in that same training match or pickup or something. And there was no backlash, no big deal or anything. And that's because obviously people love Amad and he's performing. But then Garnacho, with all the things in the media and all that, if he does anything, it's going to go under scrutiny. And people are going to call it several names. Somebody said, this is from Privilege MUFC on X. It says, if we're being honest, the only reason why some people are hysterical is because Garnacho is wearing a Villa shirt with Rashford's name on it. And I can give you a context because with that Villa shirt, it's probably maybe the last time Man United met Villa, then Rashford gave him a shirt. even though Rashford didn't play that game, or Rashford sent him a shirt, or they must have exchanged at one point in time before. That's why Garnacho has a Rashford shirt. And I can bet you Rashford also has Garnacho shirt or something. But Rashford didn't wear it, but Garnacho wore it. Now, he says, Privileged Man UFC says, if it was just a Villa shirt, no one would bat an eye, just like no one cared when Amad wore a Brighton jersey. But the jersey Brighton wore, the jersey Amad wore was a Brighton jersey with Adingra's name on it. And obviously, Garnacho is not the only person who wore another player's jersey. A training video popped up with Harry Amas, and this is pretty much on Instagram. Harry Amas wearing a Real Madrid jersey, right? And then another one popped up with Garnacho in the past, maybe somewhere around maybe last season, or looking at the shorts, is probably last season, that's the season before. He wore a Ronaldo's jersey, Cristiano Ronaldo, his Al Nassr's jersey, to do a training, probably like in his backyard or something. Nobody made a big deal out of it. And then the same thing happened for Patrick Dorgu. Patrick Dorgu wore a Roma jersey for his training session, and this is pretty recent, but nobody made a big deal out of it. And then we have Garnacho wearing a jersey for Marcus Rashford, and Marcus Rashford replies. And then Tosin Adebayo on X also replied. He said, Amad was pictured this holiday wearing Adingra's Brighton jersey. No issue about that. Ugarte wore a Fluminense jersey. No issue about that. But guess what? Guess the player that is making this lot mad. You guessed it right. Alejandro Garnacho. So now, when you see things like these, you tend to kind of like want to guess the context. But in truth, I don't think there is a context, because he might have wanted to rile everyone up, but there's no need to get overreactive in the situation and then kind of ruin what we're already looking forward to for next season. Yes, well, it's okay for us to talk about it. It's okay for us to kind of mention it, but we could also mention it alongside other people who have worn the jerseys. I'm looking at a video of someone else wearing an Amad Man United jersey from 2 seasons ago, and then Amad wearing number 24, Adingra's jersey, and it's kind of like a bonding moment for these players and stuff. But in truth, fans will react however they please or however they want to or feel like reacting, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. So that's what I've got to say. If I'm going to play the advocate for Garnacho, not that I like how he acted as a Man United player, you know my opinion about that post Europa League final, and the things he said in the media as well. But the truth is, let's not try to guess the context and then ruin everything, because right now he's even going for less the amount of money that we wanted to sell him as Man United. So there's a whole lot, there's a whole lot of water flowing under the bridge that we as Man United fans is just take a chill pill and just move on and look forward to what we're looking forward to when it comes to transfers and stuff. Because the truth is, the more we dwell on this, the more it kind of ruins everything and all of that. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I'm not saying that what Garnacho did was right, because the truth is, everybody is allowed to do whatever they want to do. But in truth, we just need to just kind of move on from this and not let it kind of ruin our expectations for next season. And honestly, a lot of people are coming up to say, oh, Amorim was right to knock Garnacho out of the squad. And we're trying to change the culture. We're trying to change. Yeah, obviously, we're trying to change the culture. We're trying to change a lot of things. But on the other hand, we also need to be very, very, we need to be very careful. And we need to to kind of keep our powders dry when it comes to these players and all of that. So pretty much what it is. Garnacho, yeah, obviously there's rumors that he's leaving this season. So, but we need to, this summer, but we need to kind of, make sure that, he's sold, he's gone, and then we can move on. dwelling on this and overreacting and just kind of calling him all sorts of names won't change anything. The deed is done and just move on. You're entitled to your opinion, no doubt. I'm not disrespecting anybody, but in truth, Alejandro Garnacho was wrong to have done what he did, but we as fans also need to call it out, but call it out in a more decent way. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think Man United fans have as much beef with Aston Villa, or we see Aston Villa as a rival fan. I mean, like, it is what it is. Anyway, that's my thought on it. And I feel like Garnacho has kind of cut the whole leash, and he has kind of burnt the bridges for Man United that he has with Man United. If he's still contracted to Man United, he's definitely coming back. But if we're selling him, let's sell him for a decent price and let him go. The difference between selling Garnacho and selling other players like, what's his name, Elanga, who Nottingham Forest are valuing for £45 million, is that Elanga is not making any noise or saying anything about the club, but Garnacho is making noise but not saying anything, just kind of, not making noise with words or saying anything evil about the club, but just, making statements, right? But Elanga isn't making any statement. He loves the club where he is and all of that. And trust me, if Garnacho goes to another club, he'll probably trying to get my words out, he'll probably thrive, comfortably, So it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.